Ryan Laplante is off to a great start to his summer. The WSOP bracelet winner and card player contributor has made 5 cashes in the first few weeks of the series, including finishing 6th in the WPT Aria Summer Championship. Today, Laplante is at the final table of a WSOP $1,000 no limit hold'em event. Card Player TV caught up with him before play resumed to learn about his success in recent weeks.
Well, part of the reason why it's gone pretty well is because I'm just running very well. You have to run very well to final table anything. WPT to start the summer was honestly one of the toughest tournaments I've ever played. My day 2 table draw on that was the toughest table I've ever had in my entire career. So it was a very, very tough battle, but fortunately I've been working on my training site for the 6 weeks leading up to the World Series, and building that content has really prepared my game better than no other way really could. And between being incredibly well prepared and then just using that to play the best poker that I have and running well, it's that's a recipe for a lot of success.
We asked Laplante about the interesting chip dynamic at the final table that he was about to play.
Yeah, the dynamic is really, really fun. Steven Song's on my direct right. He's a young East Coast crusher, part of the Young Wizards crew. He's an absolute animal of a player, and he's such a monster chip lead. And then the other 5 of us are so close together in stacks. I think the short stack's 3.5 mil, and then the second largest stack is 6.8 mil. And everyone's just in between that, except Steven has 25 million. He has half the chips in play. But fortunately for me, Steven's on my direct right. The second place stack is on his right. So I'm actually, even though I'm a 4.8 mil stack, which has me essentially middle of the pack, I'm actually in a pretty good position to be able to ladder, to be able to leverage what Steven's going to be doing. Steven's going to be trying his best to just essentially open every hand and apply as much pressure on the rest of us shorter stacks. And the guy on his right is actually a really active player. He's made some very aggressive plays in some really big situations. So I'm actually kind of waiting for the dynamic of the 2 of them to build, and then hopefully I can get into some pretty good spots, use that and leverage it pretty well, chip up in some spots, and then try to coast to like a top 3, and then really use that to battle for going for the bracelet, which it's going to be really interesting, and it should be a lot of fun. I'm very fortunate to have Steven on my right. If he was on my left, it'd be a very different final table for me.
We asked Laplante if getting some big scores early in the summer helps take some pressure off this very busy time for live tournament players.
Starting off with the final table, it's nice to know that, it's possible to have a run like that. And, that's definitely the best start I've ever had to the summer. Generally, most of my summers just goes either I brick most of the stuff or I get deeper in the Colossus and some min cashes. So this is by far the best summer I've ever had up to this point. And to have that, it really is a huge confidence boost. And honestly, while confidence doesn't necessarily matter a lot in poker, if it helps you play your A game for a longer time period, that can be a really big edge. So being confident and comfortable going into the rest of the grind should set me up to at least have a couple more big opportunities, I hope.
To find out who comes out on top at this final table, make sure to keep your browser locked right here on cardplayer.com.